can't hear you.
Now we
How
can.
about
Now
now?
we should.
Yeah, that's it. Now you got it. Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't take it anymore. I had to cut it off.
Your
Oh
face looks
man.
like a baby's hiney.
Huh?
Looks soft as a baby's hiney.
Yeah, not quite.
Yeah. Yeah. We got that summer cut now, man. You don't have to worry. All the breeze will just pass right through.
That's right.
Did you cut it off yourself or you went to a barber shop?
I went to a stylist.
The stylist. Okay.
Give me that nude look.
So would they charge you to trim your whole beard off?
Uh, I think I paid him $20.
20 bucks?
That's pretty good.
Mhm. You could have sold that to or gave it to Locks for Locks of Love. You know how people get their hair and people make wigs out of it and stuff.
Yeah, now I'm doing my imitation of an artillery shell.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're looking great, Snake. Good to see you. I did send you my address. Did you get the
Yeah,
email?
I got it.
Okay. I
I'll
kept
mail
forgetting to
that
do it.
out soon.
No, that's all right. No rush. I just kept forgetting to send my address to you.
In fact, I got it right here under my desk.
Okay.
So Kent, did you go see Mike?
Well, I tried to. He wasn't feeling very good earlier in the week, and I was supposed to go yesterday. And so I've been corresponding with his sister Cheryl. He's got some eye problems now, and they've given him a whole bunch of medication. And so Cheryl said that he dozes off, he's in and out, but he's still pretty much cognizant of what's going on. And they've been giving him a lot of meds because he had a tooth extracted surgically, and plus with his lung stuff. So I'm supposed to go see him tomorrow morning at 10.
Good luck.
Currently scheduled. So I would be surprised. It'd be nice if he joined us today, but I don't suspect that's going to happen since she's been using his phone, not him. So
Is he in a hospice?
he's in hospice over at Life Care of Aurora off of Iliff and 225. So when I first went to see him, when he first went in hospice, he said that the doctors gave him 10 years ago, gave him 5 years to live. I think it was. Said, so I've outbeat that. He said, but he said that you go into hospice with the intent of not checking out alive. So he kind of was in pretty good spirits about it. He knows that it's coming. His lung function, last I talked to him, was still decreasing. So I had hoped to hear from him today, maybe see how he was doing, but I haven't heard anything. So,
Well, if you see him, tell him we're thinking about him and praying for him. And I know it's a big decision, but I've done it with family recently, and sometimes the best you can do is just make them comfortable, so that they can,
that's what he said. Morphine and bourbon
yeah,
was working fairly well.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But the last time I was down there, we were talking. He says, "Hold on." He says, "I'm settling my lungs. I heard." He said, "I got to buzz him and have him bring me the morphine." I said, "Hey, that's what I would do. I'd just say, keep that sucker, keep it full." When I had my heart surgery, I hit the little button as often as they let me. So
They didn't give me no
not
button.
a fan of pain.
So they didn't give me no button. I must have been to. Anyway, in fact, I had to beg for stuff. They want to give me Tylenol.
No.
It was crazy.
Say Tylenol didn't do anything for me in terms of painkiller
No,
anymore. It's pretty weak.
Yeah, no, they gave me Tylenol. I would alternate Tylenol and
Advil.
crap. What's that other stuff? It did have some narcotic.
Ibuprofen.
Yeah, no, it was the thing everybody got addicted to, that painkiller, but
OxyContin.
Oxycontin, yeah. They
Yeah,
were
that was a
alternated, but it would they didn't, and I had to ask for it. They didn't try to keep me ahead of stuff, so it was crazy. But I was only there see, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, went home Sunday, so wasn't too bad.
Well, see, I had my surgery, in 2017. I think the oxy epidemic and all that stuff, I think they administered drugs differently. I think they gave out more then than they do now.
Oh yeah,
Is
definitely.
what I'm kind of hearing and from people who've been in. So
Yeah, no, yeah, I say, I'm not, if I ask for something, it's not because I'm trying to be an addict. Yeah. It's because something hurts. Anyway.
Hey, Barry, you're going the other way.
Yeah, I'm just lazy.
Well, Mike Gentry's been on the last couple times. You should see his. He more than made up for your loss, Nate.
Oh man,
Can't even get Mike Gentry's beard in the whole shot. It comes down, way fast. Anyway.
All right. Well, here is one of its videos. Oh, shucks. I didn't hit. I don't know if the audio is going to play, but can you hear that?
No.
Was that a no? We can't hear that?
Oh, we could not hear the audio.
All right. I'm screwing up again.
Yeah, just hit that little button that says use computer sound.
Sound. Okay. Hit that. Okay.
In 1967, he took a young lady back, and they made love on top of 2,000 mustache cuts. Backstory. That's where the lesson began.
Yeah.
Okay, that was Fred, but he was, you know what he's talking about. Hey, Rick.
Hey, Rick.
Message,
Audio-
Bill.
There you go.
Yeah,
Hey.
you get my message, Bill?
Rick,
Sandra's pretty much available to take off, but she has to know well in advance, Pretty
Okay. Yeah. No.
much. Well,
You mean next Thursday?
yeah.
Okay.
She'd have,
That'd be
to,
cool.
she'd have to let someone know by the first of the week, actually.
Okay.
You'd
Yeah.
have
No,
to work.
Tom, I invited Rick to come join us for the Zoom over here, since you're coming into town,
I'll be there.
and then we could have drinks and go out afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good. So next Thursday, Rick, whenever y'all want to get here in the afternoon,
Okay.
before
Unless you'd rather go into the town the next week one day or something to eat.
we can do that too, or we could do it instead of it. Whatever you want to do.
It's up to y'all, really. Let me talk to her and
Okay. All
later.
right.
All right.
Okay.
But Thursday's nice because we went, when I was there alone without Emily, we went to a nice restaurant and over by Billy's, and it was great.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, we'll talk to Sandra and we'll see
Oh,
what,
well.
if that's a good day for her, that'd be great.
Yeah, we went to dinner, and the waitress comes up and looks at Billy and says, "Hi, Billy." And Billy's like, who the hell is this? And she ended up being the nurse from the hospital or from the
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that's where I do my rehab. She,
Oh, okay.
Maddie, I didn't recognize her without her garb on, so
Oh, wait a minute. What?
without her nurse outfit on, so I'm kind of like that anyway. I'm a bad placing faces, but if there's someplace I wasn't expecting them and they're not dressed like I usually see them, it's kind of like, who are you? It's kind of, yeah. But she's a waitress out at it's a place called Rick's Rest a While, and it faces Lake Pontchartrain, and there's lots of
big front. It's nice.
great food.
Yeah, not too hard to find anything. I had been over the North Shore probably 8 or 9 years. So anyway.
Yeah, well, this is an old picture of a few banjo players. Of course, a lot of them, except for Barry, aren't here today. I don't know.
Oh, goodness.
There's Joel.
Yeah.
I don't know the other.
Gim is right next to him on Joel's right,
Yeah.
and Les Davies is 2 people
That's
to Joel's
Les.
left.
Yeah, that's Les.
Yeah, Gim is one person that looks to me, totally different when he was playing when he was younger, but he still looks young. So looks good.
Mhm. He does look completely different.
Yeah.
I think one time when I put this picture up, I was asking Jim if he remembered why they had so many people there playing that night. He didn't remember. So just seemed like a pretty crowded bandstand.
Yeah, that's a bunch of musicians. It's a
Yeah.
herd of something.
Herd of musicians.
Yeah. To me, it'd be hard to know if you're plucking your own banjo.
A flock of banjos.
Yeah. This was from many years ago when, before I moved to this house. Well, heck, let me get it back here again. We had a little get together. That was my house before I moved here. Rick and Sandra were there, and David, Tom.
I remember that. Yeah. That's when you still had your big dog,
Yeah, Jack was there. Yeah,
Milton.
and Milton Mary.
Oh yeah, Milton.
Oh, Milton. Yeah. David.
Okay.
I think he still lives in that neighborhood. I haven't heard from him in a while though.
His hair didn't change much. It's a little less curly than it was in the early 70s.
Yeah.
No, but boy, he was talking about marijuana and dope and stuff. And when we left there, Emily said, "Did you hang out with Milton a lot?" I go, "Well, yeah." I had to get out of that one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Remember when he, at the club, he owned that little bar over there
Yeah, right on Oak Street.
in Oak Street. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking around for stuff.
Oh, I'm supposed to look for stuff too.
I don't have anything to look for. So, hey, Snake.
Yeah, it's funny we don't see, there's no Gim or Mike here today. Snake's holding up the Denver contingent.
Well, I'm Kent.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go with Pete.
Such a mild-mannered guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of fun though.
Yeah.
We went to a bar late after the night of the concert, and that's kind of how he was with just a strange bar somewhere.
Oh, right.
He was not a shrinking wallflower or anything.
Well,
Yeah.
Joel took me to meet him in California, and we went out to dinner to a restaurant, and the three of us sat down and prepared to have a nice conversation. All of a sudden, he stood up and he faced the crowd and he started singing. And the whole restaurant began to sing with him. It was incredible. And it went on for, I don't know what, 15, 20 minutes.
Good.
It was pretty amazing.
He's a character, wasn't he?
Yeah, he
It was
was
always on.
Yeah.
Ken, have you talked to Mike Johnson?
Yeah, he's not doing well. I've been talking to his sister the last couple of days instead of him because he's not using his phone anymore. And I'm supposed to go see him tomorrow morning at around 10. So we'll see. We'll see. He's his condition, as best I can tell, is deteriorating, as they would say. I don't know what the official term is, but you know,
It's a shame.
it is what it is to use a cliche word.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is a clip Mike sent me some time ago. Your Father's Mustache played in Connecticut, and Joel gave a nice introduction because he talked a little bit about the mustache and the employees before they started playing. Let's see.
Ladies and gentlemen, over the
Sorry.
14 nightclubs, this is way before Planet Hollywood or the rest of those pale imitations. Coast to coast, people came in and sang now obscure tunes. And the one good thing that we did do, aside from please a lot of people with the music, was we allowed 15, 25,000, somewhere in that range, of young people to work their way through college, drinking beer, trying to sell beer, trying to sell peanuts, trying to sell straw hats, trying to sell this, to try that, and trying to make love to as many women as they could possibly do. Those who are successful in all of things have gone on to new ventures. Some are presidents of corporations, lawyers, and doctors, and the rest are here today. So here we go, and we have some door prizes today, so pay attention.
That was good.
Good clip.
Yeah, I think.
Not satisfied.
Well, I think Barry and I think all the banjo players have commented on that. Joel pretty much required every night to start with that song, huh?
Pretty much.
Yeah. I remember when the band started warming up before they went to the to stage in Carnegie Hall, that was the first thing that everybody played together.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I didn't realize that first little riff was called "The Banjo's Back in Town," and then it segued into "Somebody Stole My Gal." So, yeah. Anyway, well, Barry, I recognize Mike all the way in the back right, and I saw Pete and Little Ira, and but some of the other band members, I can't recall who they were in that little band there, Barry.
I saw Gim. I saw Little Ira.
Yeah.
Pete,
That's pretty much it. You know, and Joel,
Hmm.
Pete, Peter.
Yeah. Did you ever make any of those, Barry? The little concerts up there? I think that's they had done those a few times.
Not up in Connecticut. The only things I did in Connecticut were the reunions. 2 reunions we had.
Let's see.
But I made a whole bunch of them. A couple in Florida, a couple in St. Louis, and Oklahoma City. So I made a bunch of them.
Oh, that's great.
Right.
New York, is that Carnegie?
Yeah, I believe that's Carnegie.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Everybody's got their name tags on. I'd like to know where Mike got that
Mike got that
tie-dye
too.
banjo.
Yeah, that's good.
That's nice.
Oh well, let's see what else we can find.
Well, here's an old flyer from New Orleans. Friday Afternoon Club.
Yeah,
I
that
should
never
read
happened
all
when
that.
we were there.
So
Was that successful? Was there a lot of people that would come on Friday afternoon?
I would say
Very,
so.
very successful.
Yeah. The trouble is, was trying to get them to leave when the band would start at 8 o'clock because they were so drunk and they weren't buying by then. They were they were pie-eyed.
It was fun. I remember.
Yeah, but it was good because we got to start the club off full and kind of raucous already by when we were just opening.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, that was the good old days. All you could drink, ladies, $1 and men $3.
Bad thing, all those college girls would come and drink all that sangria and puke all over the place.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, man. Yeah, when did we start selling the sangria? We didn't have it all the time.
That sangria was some gross.
Yeah, it was.
I remember when we had it when I was tending bar. The last 3 or 4, at least by 72 or 3, we had it
Yeah,
because it was gross.
yeah.
I remember
People liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we used to squeeze oranges in it and stuff and lemons. Remember?
Yeah, that's right. Just some lemons, limes.
This was
Here's,
there's Fred. Yeah.
here's
Fred.
Yeah, that was the last time I saw Fred alive was when we were leaving the reunion at the airport. We talked a while, but then he took sick, and I remember we went the next time Roger was going down to see him a lot. I think he had, and then they did his memorial service in Mississippi.
Yeah. Diamond Head.
Yeah,
He was a good manager, I thought.
Yeah, he was very good, very fair. Yeah. That's the last time I saw Bob Osborne and LaRue. Did that same thing for
that's
Fred.
true. Yeah,
But Bob was looking thin and weak at those times.
yeah. I hardly recognized Bob when I got there.
Yeah.
Well, Bob had come to some of our little
he did.
When Tom and Emily would come to town, we'd go out and eat.
Yeah.
Bob,
He was fine then.
Yeah.
But he started whatever.
yeah. Here's this is from one of the Mustache Nose newspapers, a picture. Bourbon Street during Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure about, I know it must have been Mardi Gras because it looks like we have some out of towners on the balcony. I don't recognize all those folks. Is that Little Ira picking up his shirt? I'm not sure.
That's not Ed on the end, is it? No, I don't think. I guess not. Kind of Ed Alley.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
No.
Hard to.
That was a popular spot though during Mardi Gras.
Oh yeah. I remember the first year we decided to grease the poles there. We used some of that black grease. So people that tried to climb up to the balcony got not only slid down, but they got covered with axle grease. You know.
Yeah.
Now they oil them, I think, with some kind of other lubricant where it doesn't get people's clothes all messy.
I was talking to somebody about Mardi Gras not too long ago, and I said, "Yeah, we used to have to grease the poles because we had a second story, a balcony on the second story." And they went, "What?" I said, "Yeah, they've never been to Mardi Gras. It's like the Royal Sonesta greased their poles, and I mean everybody greased their poles unless you wanted untold foreign visitors
Climbing up. Yeah.
Climbing your balcony, yeah, yeah."
Okay, well here's a funny one.
Want to do, what am I to do? Can't help it. Love's always been a game. Play it how I may. Love was made that way. Can't help it. Girls flutter to me like mouse from flame. It's the wings, but I know I'm not to blame. Together now. Falling in love again. Never wanted to. What am I to do? Can't help it.
What a way to make a buck.
Yeah.
He had a voice.
Yeah, he had a good voice.
Yeah, he did.
So this one goes back to the 50th reunion when people were telling Joel their stories. Get him going here.
My name's Gene Roof, also known as Gene LeBeau. I'm a trombone player. And I first heard about the mustache through a tuba player named Bill Clark. And Bill, actually Mike Gentry is here. Mike Gentry played tuba at a Shakey's one weekend, and then he got hired at the Mustache. So the manager had promised everybody a tuba player. And they called me up and said, I walked in, and that's where it all started. But I started playing valve trombone, and they let me sneak into the Mustache and play. Of course, I wasn't old enough either. So one night,
Trial labor, Joel. Trial labor.
one night they tell me Joel Shimone's coming in. So they let me sneak in the back door, and I played the first set. When I finished the set, one of Joel's managers, I guess, whatever those bodyguards' names were that you carried with you, said, Joel wants to see you downstairs.
That was Joan, wasn't it?
Joel said, I got two things to tell you. Number one, you can't come in here anymore. You're not old enough. It's the only bar in Denver I couldn't go in. So number two, if you learn to play slide trombone, I've got a job for you in New Jersey. So I learned 4 songs. I'm looking over 4-leaf clover, Tiger Rag, Won't You Come Home, Bill Bailey, and the Saints Come Marching In. So about 3 months later, one of those guys who was at that meeting came into the Shakey's. I saw him. Next thing you know, I get a call from Joel. So he sent me out to Point Pleasant to work with Bill Higbee and Barry. Yeah, I'm a tuba player, a good tuba player. I only know 4 songs in the trombone.
You only know 3 on the tuba.
He puts me on 5 nights a week on trombone. And poor Barry had to play with me on the week, and then he gets to play with Neil LaFeo on the weekends. And Friday night, New York City, with Jeff Alswang, and Saturday night, Lake Compound. How many guys played Lake Compound? Anyway, thanks, Joel. I appreciate it.
Eugene used to get on sometimes. I haven't seen him in a few weeks.
No,
Yeah.
his real name was Roof.
Roof? Like a roof?
Ruff, I believe.
Ruff. Roof.
Rough.
Roof. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I always have to at some point get a picture of Big Bill.
Oh, yeah.
And there's Maynard back there.
Mhm.
And that's Buzzy with the cigarette in his mouth.
Oh, wow.
But here's a picture of Joel. I know I put it up before a long time ago, and I'm not sure. Emily might know what he was doing or whatever.
Oh, is that St. Louis?
Yeah, it looks like St. Louis to me.
Yeah, maybe.
I have no idea. It's winter.
Yeah, it says 1981, but that's about all I can tell, from it.
Yeah. Great job.
Let's see. Yeah, let's see. Yeah. This is an old New York club shot.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, you got it.
That's all right. Good. What do you guys see?
Do you see anything?
Russ Adams.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It's a New York shot. And that's Marty on the right.
Everybody always wants to know who's the chick. One of Joe Terra's nieces.
Yeah. Right, Tom, you said you had something?
Yeah, this is your bachelor party.
Yeah, that was February 72. That was actually the day before I got married. I worked side bar so I could get off early, but then I stuck around and drank for a while.
Bonnie didn't know what she was getting herself into.
Yeah, I think she did. I actually know everybody in the picture too. Well, Mr. Krippner on the bottom, and John Stacy was a waiter, but he took over playing washboard after Wilbur became Vince Vance. Freddie Lonzo, and over my shoulder here is John Leonard, who went by, we nicknamed him Mad Dog, which I don't really understand because he was really pretty mild mannered. We called him Mad Dog. Les Muscat, Rex Karger, Herb Eisen on the tuba, Kevin Monahan down behind David, and Al Siebel all the way on the right there. I'm all the way on, yeah. So,
Billy, you're looking very disco-ish there with that shirt.
well, the band made me. They turned a bottle of champagne upside down and held my nose and made me swig it. Tried to take my clothes off, and then made me sing "I'm Getting Married in the Morning." No video to prove it, but I'll tell you that's what was happening.
Well, it's a good
Glad
picture.
that the camera girl took that picture though. I really like it.
Yeah. So the whole Vince Vance thing, I mean, how did Fred run that?
Wilbur Kite, the washboard player,
Right.
he would come out and do a set or part of a set every night. He would grease his hair back and come out and do 50s music, and the band would play. but then it was very popular. Everybody really enjoyed it. You know, he'd do the things like the Sha Na Na was doing and all. And then the waiters all started dressing in 50s and slicking our hair back and wearing band lawn shirts and such. And then he went ahead and got a real band. You know, there's Joe Mullane was in it. I've got a picture. Let me see. Hold on.
Joe Mullane was in it, and
We actually got a picture of it somewhere real quick. Let's see. Here it is. Let me pull it up here.
But what you got to remember, Ken, is in 1972, that's the first time the 50s became nostalgia.
Yeah.
50s was nostalgia for the first time 20 years later in the 70s. So those guys did pretty good. I mean, Sha Na Na was the first ones to do it.
Mm-hmm.
These guys did it, and they became very popular because it was new nostalgia.
Yeah. Well, they made enough money where Wilbur basically, his real name was James Viator, but he went by Wilbur Kite when he was playing a washboard. Then he assumed the persona of Vince Vance, and they were able to tour the country for quite a while. Made a lot of money, and Fred was their manager, I believe. And
I worked for him for a couple of years too, between that and Mustache back and forth. Guy on the top left, Speedo, real name Tom Hansen. He lives in Texas. He called me a couple of months ago, just saying, you know, he ran across my name somewhere, and I couldn't believe it.
well,
The
did he?
guy holding the bottle was Sidney Arroyo.
Yeah.
No, that's Joe Mullane.
Oh, that's right. That's Joe Mullane.
Yeah, Sidney Arroyo got into the band later.
Okay.
When Andy Stone was our tuba player. He was in the band, but then he kind of assumed the persona of Vince Vance when Wilbur or James decided to retire.
Yeah. He became a Loyola law professor.
But we would draw a big crowd. Yeah,
all that organically grew out of the mustache.
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah. But anyway, but it became a big thing, and they would do entire sets sometimes. We'd open early on Fridays and such for them to
They do the FAC club.
Yeah. But they became really popular.
They were good.
But that was just something that Wilbur just started doing as a side thing to get the people involved at the mustache, and then it took off. It was so popular, we had dance contests and everything at the club, 50s stuff. And the waiters would get to wear the old clothes too, you know, which for us wasn't really that old back then, you know. Here comes Mr. Ira.
What, Chris?
Hey, guys.
Chris.
Good to see you, Snake. I can see all of you now. What happened?
We were showing a picture. Yeah.
I was I'm at a banjo gig in Dearborn, Michigan.
Oh.
I just drove here from Pittsburgh.
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
So I'll be playing banjo for the next couple of days.
What's the guy's name that runs that up there? I can't remember.
Brian Newsom.
Yeah, tell him hello for Barry.
I will.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah. Ira.
Hey, Ira.
Where's Danny? I missed him last week.
Here last week.
Yeah, I watched the video, though. It was pretty good.
Yeah, he said he was going to try to show up again, but he didn't.
I did try to show up again when? 3 years?
Never called.
It's not Danny's thing, right, Barry?
Never called.
Yeah.
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 Wait, he stayed on the whole time last week. Let's see.
Yeah,
That should carry him for about 2 years.
well, here's a
Maybe we
picture
can get him back on.
with Wilbur Kite. That's Wilbur Kite, right?
Yeah.
Vince Vance.
Yeah, that's Wilbur.
This
Yeah.
Andy on tuba.
Scotty Hill on trombone.
Les Muscat.
That's Musket.
Who's on washboard?
That's Wilbur. Wilbur Kite.
I don't know any of them.
His real name was James Viator, but he left to become Vince Vance.
Oh, okay.
Well, he actually became Vince Vance while he was at the mustache, and then they started getting a lot of work.
Vince Vance and the Valiants.
Mm-hmm.
And he ended up being a law professor at Loyola. So, I mean, he had quite a career.
And I would say that Jim Viator, Wilbur Kite, he was as close to making the washboard player. Um, I'm trying to think of the word now. A novelty like Joe Terra did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In other words, Wilbur, the washboard was a tool to do his show. He was a quick guy, could sing, he was funny, had great mannerisms. So that's what he did with the washboard. Used it as a tool, a novelty tool to be an entertainer. That's what the Terra did too.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did.
No, Wilbur was definitely a good front man. He could keep the crowd going, and he knew all the lyrics to the songs, and he would do Mother and the other songs like that too to get the people involved.
I wish some of you guys, I mean, I know Ira has seen him, and Chris, but I wish some of you guys could have seen Terra perform.
Well, I wish I could have too. Yeah.
He had something that you can't put into words, huh, Chris?
Oh yeah, every night.
That's exactly right. It's exactly, you can't describe it.
He wasn't a good singer. He wasn't a good musician. He wasn't a good looking guy, for sure, but he'd get up on the bandstand and everybody, he had him in the palm of his hands.
Absolutely.
So I could figure out what he was doing.
Yeah.
He was a performer.
That's right. He was a performer. Every
Yeah.
little mannerism people love.
I can
And
hardly
did he
pick
just
up my
play the
banjo.
washboard?
And
Did he
Jim
just play the
Viator,
washboard?
Jim Viator came close to that kind of in a little bit different way.
I can still hear him doing Boulevard of Broken Dreams. He would get that tom-tom drum out.
Right.
How about Salvation Army?
I walk along the street of sorrows.
Yeah.
I can't remember my last name some days, but I
At the words of those songs.
His other big number was 42nd Street.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at that. Russ Adams, Marty. Who's the girl, Barry?
I don't know, we always ask that. It's one of Joe's nieces.
Okay. But that's Marty Fay, I think, on the right.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, it is.
Improper Bostonian, Cape Cod.
Mm-hmm.
Russ Adams.
He used to cook you dinner, didn't he, Chris?
Oh yeah, he used to have like a little workers' dinner that he would make, like a big pot of stew or chili or something like that, and we would all go in there before we are, the first set, and have something to eat. Just sit around at the tables and get one of our beers, and it was great. It was like family, and
You got the label on that picture. It says Joe Terra, Russell, and Ira. That's Joe Terra, Russell, and I think that's Marty Fay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's Marty.
I don't know who captioned it, but yeah, I think Marty told me that was him.
Yeah, that's Marty.
Yeah. Or maybe it was one of Ira's pictures. I don't know.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
A girl might have been one of Russell's Puerto Rican friends. Oh no, Portuguese. He used to say, "I have a couple of Portuguese girls."
Is that what he'd say,
They're
Chris?
pretty girls.
I don't remember that.
Oh yeah, he didn't want to say Puerto Rican. He would say, they were Portuguese.
Portuguese. Portuguese.
Is that Marty?
It was more exotic somehow.
Now, doesn't somebody have that washboard?
I think John
I think
McLernan
Mike
had
had
it,
that.
no?
Mike said he had something of Joe's that he was going to go in the Rocky Mountain Music Museum along with a bunch of stuff that Mike had over the years from all the washboard concerts he did.
Yeah.
I seem to remember McLaren got it.
It was nice that you got a picture from McLaren to post.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was his Easter.
I wish we could get McClernand on once in a while.
He's on. He just doesn't talk. He just watches from the side.
I used to get an email from him occasionally if there was some clarification of a picture we didn't seem to know about, or he would sometimes fill me in on stuff. But I haven't heard from him in a while.
Well, the jazz festival is going on right now in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And here we have Maynard a number of years ago, but this is the jazz festival.
Wow.
I remember the big song we played that day. That performance, the big new song on the radio was Ringo Starr, You're 16, You're Beautiful in Your Mind.
And you're mine, yeah.
And we played that song and the crowd went crazy because it was brand new.
It was actually an old song, but Ringo brought it out again.
Yeah, it was brand new for Ringo. You're
Yeah.
right.
Of course, these days you might get in trouble singing a song like that.
Depends on what state you're in. Well, we sold a ton of beer. Remember the Schlitz guys made it's like a horse trailer,
Yeah.
and it had taps on both sides, and we poured some beer so fast the regulators on the CO2 tank froze. That was the biggest problem we had, is we were selling too much.
Yeah, a picture of that big at the early Jazz Fest. Some of our people were working there. Somewhere in y'all's pictures there.
I've got a picture of the giant Schlitz can that used to drive around like a go-kart. It was just a giant Schlitz can on wheels. Yeah, Schlitz sponsored it. In fact, the first few Jazz Fest, none of us had to pay to get in. We would work in the beer booths, and we could park right on the grounds.
Oh yeah,
drive right in.
Nothing like today.
Yeah.
The very first summer that I started working for the Mustache in 1966, they called me into New York to do a Schlitz beer commercial. And I thought we were going to be on TV. So I got into my outfit and I took the bus from Philly to New York. And I show up at the address that they give me. And it's a recording studio, but just audio.
No video.
and there's Sonny Helmer and Ron Bizel and I don't know who all else. And I don't know why they asked me. I was just like a brand new player. I could barely play the chords. And they put this big sheet of music in front of us. And Sonny says, "Don't worry," he says, "I'll yell the chords." And it was that song, "When you're out of Schlitz, nothing else comes near. When you're out of Schlitz, you're out of beer." And we had to do like 40 takes because there was one little break that we had to make. And we had to count until it came back in. When you're out of Schlitz, boom, boom,
you're out of beer.
Out of beer, and we kept missing it. And then I found out that we were just the soundtrack, and then there were a bunch of guys that looked handsome and were in real sort of outfits with hats and string ties and all that jazz that made the commercial. Sure. And you can still see it. It's still you can get it on Facebook, the Schlitz beer commercial.
I remember the jingle for sure.
Yeah.
And was it your audio?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Not the singing. They had another group doing the singing.
Oh,
it was like a barbershop quartet, but that's our banjo, trombone, tuba, the whole thing.
Here's Joel and Jeff.
Jeff Olslag. That's Gentry behind Joel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Looks like.
Great picture.
I'm so glad we managed to capture all this stuff, because it went by so fast.
Yeah.
And we thought we were old then.
Yeah, really.
That's right. In 1990, we thought we were old.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, this is just an old Brussels shot. I think we've shown it before, but it's got a good shot of Joel in there.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
And I know Mike Johnson did Brussels for a while.
Yeah, he opened the club, I think.
So, Mike, if you're watching, we remember that. Yeah, I guess that must be the waiters and everybody. Well, what manager opened the club? Was it Roger went out there?
I don't know. What year did Brussels open?
Oh, actually, I still have that whole mustache nose that I took this from. It has a date on it, but I'd have to go dig it out the attic. I scanned a bunch of this stuff, but
I like seeing the clap along sign in multilingual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Le Monde.
well, I know they were open when I started at the Mustache because one of our little sign at the front showed Brussels. In fact, it showed Brussels and Vancouver. Still is operational when I first started in '72.
I sat in with
I'm
Gentry.
sorry, '71. I started '71.
Yeah.
There's no pictures of Vancouver, are there?
I sat in with Gentry in the Brussels club while I was over there on business.
Oh, you did? Okay.
What year was that, Snake?
Oh, hell, I don't remember. But I was over there with Gates Rubber. And Gates Rubber was a large manufacturer here in Denver for folks that haven't heard about it. They invented the V-belt. But I was over there on business and got to sit in with Gentry and a French bass player.
Gentry was there, I think, spring of '72.
That could have been.
Yeah.
Well, here's is it somebody's talking? Jeff is talking about.
You never know. I mean, if you're talking, excuse me, Donnie. Excuse me.
Bonnie.
My dick died 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It just died. It died. No, I had a very nice. Did
you have a service card?
Yes, I was going to say I had a very nice.
Look at
viewing.
Murata.
There was nice food. It was nice. And I said, I asked my doctor, I said, what do I do now? He said, does the word depend mean anything to you? Because that's all it's good. No.
I got
to give me. He tried to give me. I'm sorry, ladies, but this is when you get to our age, that's all you talk about.
Put a sock in it. It's the same thing. Put a sock in your thing.
No. You put a sock. I'll put in a Hebrew national salami. This no. We have people here dating. We have people dating who are older than dirt. They're older than dirt. They're holding hands. What the hell do I know what they're doing?
That way they don't fall over. That's why I hold.
There's been a few times you see Roger not saying a word.
Nobody can say a word when Jeff's talking.
No.
Yeah. Well, we can be sure that he was going to mention Mount Camp Mountain. Yeah, and also the roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was quite the character. Let's see. I thought I had a picture of him somewhere too.
Like I said before, when John and Jeff were on it, nobody else said anything.
Ah.
Carry the whole show.
Just stand back.
Yeah.
Jeff was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Here's one with
there's DeFeo.
From the end of the concert, the 50th.
Ruth.
Is that picture up? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I had a picture. Can't see what I'm showing anymore. I got too many pictures on the screen. It should have Joel up with Jeff right behind him.
That's it.
Okay.
What was the lady's name again? Ruth what?
Was that Ruth Cruz?
Ruth Cruz.
Ruth Cruz, yeah.
Good friend of Joan Dragons.
Was she friendly with Joan?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. They used to go like on little trips together, summer trips and trips to the mountains, stuff like that. They just would hang out together.
And here's Gentry, I think pretty much when he just about first started at the New Orleans club.
Wow.
Pete Maynard.
Well, it says May of '73, Billy. That he's,
Oh, no, I guess not. Well,
he was there.
yeah. Well, I don't know, because Les was there for a long time, and then Barry filled in, and then Mike Gentry came. No, actually, Les Davies. Les Davies was in for a stint too.
I'm right next to Maynard in that picture.
Yeah.
Huh.
Let's see. But we were still wearing the hadn't gone to suspenders and all that by then. So this says May '73 on it. So that's
That makes sense.
yeah. Okay. Well, Tom is going to be here next week, so we'll be doubling up over at my house. And Rick may or not make it over here, but if not, we'll still be getting a Zoom on. Tom, that next week after that, are you traveling on the 15th, or are you here through the 15th?
Give me a second. Oh yeah, I am traveling.
We'll figure it out. Well, Chris, when you said you were coming to town sometime soon, didn't you?
I think I've traveled early in the morning.
Yeah. I don't have any New Orleans plans right now. I have to wait for my wife to get a like a gig there where she's teaching or something.
Okay. I thought I recalled you mentioning you had something to do down here soon. Okay.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
I guess I should look at my calendar, huh, guys? I'm going to Savannah. I know that in June, but that's not New Orleans.
Oh.
No, I'm going to go to Savannah, and then I'm going to go to Tybee Island, visit a friend of mine.
Savannah is a great town.
I've never been.
Oh, I like Savannah.
Is that where hot-hearted Hannah lives?
The man from Savannah?
Yeah.
She's the meanest
I was
girl
waiting
in
for
town.
somebody to say that.
Meanest girl in town.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right. Well, so next week, Billy and I will be together, and we'll see you from New Orleans.
Great.
And
Good to see you all again.
Okay.
Yeah, good to see you, Snake. See all of you. You're looking pretty young there with your
Take
Okay,
care.
everybody.
beard off.
Yeah, and Kent, don't forget to give. I'm sure you will give.
Mike.
All our, best wishes. Yeah.
Well, hey, you guys send me a Dropbox or something, because I got 40 more videos from New York. I sent Tom the shorter ones that were less than 25 megabytes, but I got a bunch more from the hotel lobby and from the rehearsal and from the concert and the other stuff.
Well, I think I tried to send you an email from.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
You didn't get it, so let me.
I just looked. If Billy's got a Dropbox, or let's figure something out. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I finally discovered. Only took 14 years, but
Takes
it was safe somewhere.
Till next week.
We'll see you all next week.
All right, guys. Take care.
Take care, guys.
Okay, guys, have a good week.
You too.
All right.